What's going on, family? Welcome to PJ Guitar. I'm PJ Patrick Johnson, and today we got a lesson. We're gonna go over the key of G. You gotta know how to play in the key of G. I think it's the second most common key that songs are played in. And that's for a lot of reasons. One is that it only has one flat. So if we was on the piano, it only have one black key, all the rest of them would be white. Very similar to the key of C, and they share a lot of chords, but the key of G, man, and I like its location. In the key of G, you get that E minor. And that's a beautiful sound, a wonderful location as well. But the key of G. All right, we're gonna go over the key of G. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna teach you how to play the key of G on the E string, as well as we're gonna learn it on the A string. So you're gonna learn how to play the same chord in multiple ways, okay? You're gonna learn that. I'm gonna teach you the major scale. I mean, every key is based off of the major scale, and perhaps most would say that all music is based off of the major scale. Anything else is just drawn from it, okay? We'll also learn the E minor pentatonic scale, which is the G major pentatonic scale. So along with that, man, I hope y'all are gonna enjoy this lesson. I'm telling you, it's gonna be useful. This may be your first lesson into music theory, okay? But it is gonna be very useful for you, and the things that you learn in this lesson will help you learn other keys, okay? So we're just learning music here. This is gonna help you play the songs that you wanna play better. You get these fundamental things of music theory, and you learn these type of things, and it's gonna make learning guitar, learning music a lot easier for you, okay? Because you want to go into it with the approach of trying to get an understanding, and if you don't understand music theory, it's going to be hard for you to understand the way that music works and the rules that govern it, okay? All right, let's start off with the major scale. All right, we're going to learn it horizontally on one string first, which would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So now we're back home, okay? Once again, there's the 1, which is G, the 2, which is A, the 3, which is B, the 4, which is C, the 5 is D, the 6 is E, and the 7 is the curveball at F sharp. All right, there is a pattern, okay? And as you see, I counted them in reference to the G. I'm counting each one and giving it a number. That's called the Nashville Number System. That is going to be very helpful to you in translating and communicating with other musicians, all right? Because there are things that are associated with each of those numbers, and we're going to learn in this lesson, there are things that are associated with each number that's going to be like a need to know, right? So our 1 is G. Let's learn this also vertically, okay? We learned it horizontally going across one string. Let's learn it vertically too, all right? And this is something you need to know. This will be a good practice for you. It's practicing up and down, all right? Be a whole step, and then half, all right? And this is the pattern that applies to any key. Starting on the 1, you got a whole step, half, whole step, half. All right. So there's a half step between the 3 and the 4, and a half step between the 7 and the 1. Remember that, all right? And you'll be able to navigate through songs, all right? And listen, learning your keys and learning these things will make it easier for you to learn and play along with songs. If you want to play by ear, all right? You want to play by ear, you want to be able to just get in and fit in with a band, you want to be able to follow along with someone, learning this is the first step, okay? All right, now let's learn it vertically. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm back to G right there. All right, y'all, listen. I really need your help with the channel, okay? Helping this channel grow is really dependent upon not only me and my efforts, but you as well, okay? So how you can help this channel grow, number one is liking the video. Like the video, hop in the comments. This helps spread it. It lets YouTube know that people are enjoying and using this content. Watch the video all the way through. When you watch the video all the way through, it tells YouTube, hey, people are really entertained by this material, okay? Let's see, make sure you subscribe. If you like it, subscribe to it. Make sure your notification bell is turned on, all right? There's a new thing going on that's called hype. You can hype up this video. If you feel like this video is hype worthy, you can click that hype button and it makes a leaderboard. This is for small content creators like myself to be able to compete, or maybe not compete, but to have some of that visibility that the greater or more larger platforms or channels have, okay? So this is for people who have like around, less than 500,000 subscribers, all right? Which is a good majority. This is gonna help push the little man. So listen, I thank you all for the support that you give. I wanna also let you know about some of the things we have to offer here specifically at PJ Guitar, okay? I want to have this community that we can have set up. We can have this community set up. You'll get your recognition. You'll be a part of this community. You can do that. Check out, you can click that join button, all right, and kind of view the tiers of things we have available. A lot of people ask, hey, how do you do one-on-one sessions? You know what I mean? How do you do that? So these are some subscriptions you can do by joining, some memberships you can have. And if you look at each of those tiers, it'll tell you what we have available, okay? Maybe we can make some one-on-one time with me and you. We can get together over a Zoom. Let's have an evaluation, because hey, sometimes there ain't a lot of help that I can give people, and that's okay, all right? So maybe we have a little free consultation, figure out where you're at, where we can go and see if I'm a good fit to give you lessons and to have some one-on-one time with you. All that can be made possible. Just follow the directions, email me, message me. We have a posting. You can make a post on the channel in this community. Listen, I really want to hear from you guys, and just from the bottom of my heart, I would like to say thank you. I appreciate you all. I haven't always been the guitarist I am today, and I'm not the guitarist I aim to be just yet, okay? But with your help, I've been able to grow. I've been able to provide for others, provide lessons for others in places where many people aren't sharing what we're learning here at PJ Guitar. So thank you all for making this possible, okay? From the bottom of my heart, okay? Thank you. If we wanted to continue, we could go right here. We could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or back to 1. 8 is 1 all over again, okay? So it's 1 through 7, and then it starts over. But they usually use 8 to signify that it is an octave, okay? So once again, that scale all together, all right? So really this scale is going to repeat twice in the way that we're going to do it, because we're going to play the 1 octave and then go to another octave, okay? So all right, go through that, practice that, okay? Practice it horizontally, practice it vertically, all right? Sit down, practice it. Listen, if you just practice that for 5 to 10 minutes, that's going to help you along the way. I mean, really think about it. You doodle and mess around, and some of you take 5 to 10 minutes tune up. That's okay, but utilize your time, okay? Time management is very important when it comes to practicing guitar. So intentionally sit down and practice that. That's going to help. If you want to be able to shred and play all the lead stuff and solos and everything like that, you need to be working on those scales. The quickness, the coordination, hand-eye coordination, or thought to hand coordination, all right? All that, work on that, man. Practice that. Let's get into chords, okay? We're going to get into chord. Once again, I said we're going to learn 2 ways to play the same chord. We're going to learn the chords on the E string, the heavy E string, and then we're going to learn them on the A string, okay? All right, so the key of G, we're going to start with the 1, which is G. And let me tell you, the 1 is major. The 1 is always major. All right, these are the rules. Oh, that sounds good, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, and I like to use that whammy when I'm emphasizing. Some people say, well, why do you use the whammy so much? and I have mine where they call kind of floating, which means I can go above pitch and below pitch. And so that's kind of giving me more of a humanistic or emotional way of playing, because I get to go. It's kind of like it mimics the human voice. All right, that's our 1. Our 2 is A minor. Oh my goodness. Our 3 is B minor. So notice that the 2 and the 3 are minor, all right? And mostly always the 2 and the 3 will be minor. All right? When we get to the 4, it turns back into a major. Notice this is the same shape. So wherever you put that, if you follow the index finger, if you follow their index finger, that's where it's gonna be. So if I know that's a G note, I say that's a G major, as long as I got this shape. All right? So now I'm coming to this C major. A D major. All right? So that's the 5. The 6 is minor. And that's an E minor, to be exact. Now the 7 is tricky because 1 in the key of G, it is a sharp. Some will call it a flat, but we're gonna call it F sharp. But this is a diminished chord, okay? So this is a chord that is very scary to some, and I mean it even sounds kind of spooky, right? You know what I mean? But this chord is very special in that it unlocks a lot of things for you. It takes you a lot of places. All right, it takes you a lot of places. So we're gonna play this. This is gonna be our diminished shape. Okay. And then we go back to our 1. Now, if you're running out of space right here, maybe you're on acoustic, or maybe you don't have a cutaway. You might be playing a Les Paul style guitar. It might get hard for you to get down there. So what you can do is come back up, all right? Because this starts repeating itself right here. This is the same thing as that. These things just repeat themselves over and over and over again, all right? So once you figure out your patterns, once you learn your rules, then playing it will become a lot easier for you, all right? So now we got an F sharp diminished that we want to try to play up here because I'm running out of room. Now, I can even play that E minor, which that's the E minor 7. I can play it right here. Right? All right, and then I can play my F sharp diminished. And notice how perfectly that leads right into that G. It's perfect. And so take your time and practice going through that. That's my 1. My 2 is minor, A minor. My 3, B minor. 4, C major. 5 is D major. My 6 is E minor. Remember that 7? F sharp diminished. Back home to 1. All right? And as you're practicing, one thing you do, if let's say you can't, it's hard for you, got to concentrate and you're not getting a lot of fun out of playing, then just stick with keeping that same shape. and just play your 1, your 4, and your 5. Since they're all major, you can just play your 1, your 4. Go back to your 1. Go to your 5. To your 4. You playing the blues, baby. Your turnaround is 5, 4, 1. One other thing you start doing to kind of get better with movement and everything with your hands is slide into it. Turn it around. All right, that's the blues, y'all. That's the blues in key of G, the 1, the 4, and the 5, okay? Now, you can do that same thing with your 2, your 3, and your 6. Now, this is going to give you more of an R&B style thing, okay? We're going to play some minor 7s. Let's actually start on the 6. 3, 2. That's it. Ooh. Six, 3, 2. Remember your 6 is here too. 6, 3, 2. But if you want to keep that same shape, E minor, 3, 2. There's a turnaround. And so that's playing around as you're practicing. You want to get better with flowing and moving and finding those frets without really, having to put a lot of attention and concentration on it. Eventually you want it to flow where you ain't even, maybe you ain't even got to look, okay? You start mixing in them licks. And we're going to get into scales here in just a moment, okay? All right, so that's what we got. Well, and let's dig just a little bit deeper on this E string, okay? We're going to go up just a little bit. Listen, if you haven't been able to keep up, that's okay. Take what you can. Practice that major scale, practice on one string if you have to. Take what you can, play what chords you can, come back, revisit, okay? Come back, revisit. Finish the video, identify the places you need to grow, come back, revisit it, okay? And practice again. And these people will tell you, even in the comments, there's been stuff they haven't been able to play. And as they practice, and they come back and they realize, wow, I've really been able to grow, all right? So let's see. Now this G, that's our 1. Okay. Our 2 is A minor. Now, I was playing an A minor 7, which is just a 1-note change up. All right. I was doing the same thing for my 3, that minor 7. 4. All right. Now what we can also do is break it down a little bit more. So let's say you're playing with others. So let's say you got a bass player and a keyboard player or organist or someone else who has a deeper sound. Then you don't want to be playing all the heavy stuff. Now, there's a time when it's going to be appropriate, okay? But you're going to want to lighten things up a little bit, all right? So what you can do is you can break these chords down into smaller pieces to where they fit in well. Instead of making things muddy and messy, they'll make things clean, neat, and you can show the attributes of the guitar in a subtle and exciting way, okay? And so what I'm saying is, okay, so we got this, but this really got a lot of low and mid to it, right? And that's fine if you're playing by yourself, you know, or you playing something that's guitar heavy, all right? But that's not always the case. So what you want to do, let's break some of this down. And what we guitarists like to do is play like this, all right? Start playing triads. That's a G major triad, and it's just a staircase from that B string up and over a fret, up and over a fret, up and over a fret. For each finger, it's a staircase. Kind of looks like a Christmas tree. It's a staircase, okay? So that's my major, and I can keep that same shape. Some of you may know this is like an F shape. I can keep that same shape. Some say it's an E shape. And I can go here. Now, if I'm getting strings, I can kind of put the tip of this finger on the top of that string, and I might be able to. That way I get the strings that I want. All right. Now, technically, you can cover that bottom string, but sometimes that's a little hard for beginners, okay? So we got. Those are my majors, and I can keep that shape. Fourth. All right. Now with this minor, look at what we got. If I don't want to get the muddy part, so I want to cut out on that E and A string. How about this? That's the piece of it. So always look at your chord and see what's at the top or at the bottom of it. When I say the top, I'm talking about the top strings. These are actually considered the top strings because they're higher pitched. Even though looking down there, they're like lower, right? So that's the same thing as my A minor. That's a A minor triad. Here's a B minor triad. Back to that C. All right, things have changed a little bit for the diminished. We're gonna stay away from it just for now, okay? So here's some shorthand, what we're gonna call some shorthand stuff, or triads, okay? And triads are gonna help you later. That's my 1. That's my 2. And listen, y'all, because it's a chord, you can play those notes in any order. It's called arpeggios, okay? When you outline a chord with the notes that are in it, it's called arpeggio, okay? And you can it's just any of those. I'm just randomly picking. It's all gonna sound good together because it works in harmony, okay? So even on these triads, all right? let's see. Let's go. Let's start moving to the A string. Okay. So A string, we want to learn the key of G on the A string. Well, we got to first find that G. So if we're on the A string, the G is actually right here. All right. That's that G. So this is a major shape. So keeping in mind the last thing we learned, okay, our 1, our 4, and our 5 are major. So we got our 1. Now I'm starting to run out of room down here, so I might as well go ahead and move up. All right. There's my 4. That's a C major. And there's my 5. That's my D. All right. That's my D. So we got my 1, my 4, my 5. If we move my 5 up, I gotta change my shape to a minor shape. Now this is a regular minor shape. All right. But I want to play a minor 7. All I do is take my pinky off. All right. So let's play our 1. I think most of the time we can fit right here. There's a 2. I'm keeping that minor 7 shape. Let's come up here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's play what they call a half diminished or minor 7 flat 5, which is right here. So I 1. All right, let's play that. So one thing to keep in mind as you begin to learn, especially down here, when you start getting lower on the guitar, is you start having these things that are complementary to the chords, that are complementary to that key. So one thing is when I'm in this major shape, one thing that almost always sounds good is just putting on to that B string. That's called a hammer on. When the note rings out and then you press it, it's called a hammer on. Now I'm actually hammer on and I'm pulling off. All right, and I can do that whenever I have this shape. All right, so. And the same thing I can do when I'm in these minor shapes. So you hear that a lot in R&B. And so maybe you're sitting around, you can start playing around and just, play how you feel. So that's a 1. That's the 2. That's the 3. I'm just randomly playing. 5, 4 to my 1. To my 6. Let's hit the 7. That's the 1. That's my 5. That's my A minor 2. I like that. So my 4, 5, 6. Alright, so now here's some more stuff. All right, so let's go a little deeper to another level. All right, so we learned how to play minors and minor 7s. We learned how to play majors. Let's learn a major 7 and a dominant 7. Okay, so our major 7 really sounds good on top of that 4. So that's a C major 7. All right, then we have D dominant 7 or D7. That typically works well on the 5. And it works well on the 5 because that 5 is kind of a tense place. It's not a very settling place where the music settles, but it's mostly where music begins to stir up, which means it has to boil over and go somewhere. So let's go back to our 1. Sometimes that 1 can be a major 7. Let's play that 4 major. Wait, let's see. That sounded. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Let's go from that 1 to the 7. The 6, the 5 dominant, the 4 major 7 to the 2. Excuse me, that's 3. That's my 2. That's my 1. I can mix. Now in the key of G, of course, we can always play that major scale. All right, we can also play E minor. And that E minor is gonna sound good on top of mostly all of these chords in most styles of music, okay? So we're gonna play that G. Here's a good E minor scale. Or you can start it with the G. So you're playing your G. Or you can go to other chords. Really, I don't even have to come here. I can play it right here. And it's not limited to right here in these areas. These are just the most common areas they're played. All right, that's our time for today.